to another wonderful opportunity to shift some of that pent up energy through movement and breath, and of course, all the good vibes that Bella is here to offer. All right, so hope you're doing well. Glad you're joining me for this practice. I think we need mindfulness and mindful movement more than ever. So anyway, just acknowledge yourself for being here, for tuning in, and even if it's through a screen, I'm really delighted to be here with you. Let's start by grounding, as always. So if you're comfortably seated on a chair, again, it doesn't have to look like my chair, just as long as it's a chair that allows you to have your feet on the ground. If it's a little taller of a chair, you can always put blocks underneath your feet, just so you have a nice 90-degree angle here on the knees. And you can feel the connection of your feet to either the blocks or the ground fully. So lift all 10 toes, or however many you have. Spread the toes, feel for pressing down through the big toe mound, little toe mound, and then inner and outer parts of your heel. So we have nice distribution of weight through the feet. And you can bring the toes down. Hands gently rest on the thighs. Maybe take one big shoulder shrug. And as you exhale, release. Let the shoulders just gently relax down the sides of the body. So we're not forcing them forward or forcing them back. We're just letting them rest down the sides of the body. And bringing awareness to the core. So I want you to really feel for pulling that belly button up and in. So in towards the spine, and a little bit of a lift here to give you some lift in the ribs and the chest. Imagine that the crown of the head was being pulled up by a string to the ceiling or to the sky, keeping the chin nice and parallel. And once you feel like you achieved a pretty comfortable, easy posture here, I invite you to close the eyes. Soften through the face. Softening the spot in between the eyebrows. Softening through the cheekbones and the jaw. The throat, the heart space, and the belly. And simply noticing the breath today, without any judgment. Just observing what it feels like to breathe in this moment. Allowing yourself to really get present here. And maybe begin to lengthen the inhales and the exhales, bringing more nourishment to the body, and releasing more tension, stress, or worry out. 3 more rounds of nice full breaths, in and out through the nose. Slowly begin to flutter the eyes open, keeping the gaze nice and soft. Inhale, sweep the arms up high. And then on the exhale, open the elbows out into goddess pose, sending the heart forward, squeezing shoulders and elbows behind you. Inhale, back up. Exhale, squeeze the elbows down, squeeze shoulder blades behind you. One more, inhale, lift up. Exhale, open through the heart space. Good, stay here and then interlace fingers behind your head. Inhale, lift as you gently push the head back into the hands, widen the elbows. On the exhale, elbows close in by the head, tuck in, round the spine. Inhale, lift and open like a blooming flower. And then exhale, tucking in. Inhale, lift and open, and exhale, tucking in. Come back to neutral, keep the interlace in the hands, keep the elbows And begin to bend towards your right. Lifting back up and bending towards your left. Lifting back up and release the hands out to the sides. Good. And then make a fist with your wrists and then just roll the hands out. Or the wrists out really. And then opposite direction. Good. And then kind of just shake them out. Okay. We're going to take a nice wide stance with the feet. So again, make sure you're forward in your chair so there's space behind you. And then take a nice wide stance here. You want to make sure the knees are tracking right over the second and third toes. So they're sort of in line. The knees aren't farther in than the feet, and they're not farther out than the feet. Feet should be about 45 degrees, so that will guide where your knees go. Good. And from here, we're going to take a few barrel rolls. So we're going to stay nice and tall, so you're not moving forward. You're just sending the heart forward as if you were inside of an upright barrel, and then rounding the spine. And then rolling forward as you arch the spine, and then rounding the spine. So moving here at your own pace. So imagine you're moving kind of around a steady pillar or stick or a pole that's going down through center, and you're sort of moving around it instead of folding forward and back. One more, and then opposite direction. Good, and then one more here. And then pause, find that lift through the crown of the head again. Taking our side bends, taking that right forearm down onto the right thigh, make sure you're not dropping the ear down. And then inhaling the left arm up and over. On the exhale, bringing it back down. Again, inhale up, finding length through that left side. Exhale, bring it down. One more time, up and back. And this time, come all the way back up. We'll take it on the other side. Bending through that left forearm, palm faces up, and making sure you're not tilting or letting that left shoulder and ear meet. And then inhale, sending that right arm up over the ear. Exhale down. Inhale up and over. Exhale down. One more, inhale up and over. And this time making your way back to center. Great. Now we're going to add a little bit of a twist here. So you're going to send the right hand forward, and you're going to lift all the way up, and then reach the hand back as you twist the upper body. And then sending that arm up and forward. Good. Two more. Inhale, up and back. Up and forward. Last one, up and back. And forward. Good. Other side. Sending that left hand forward, reaching all the way up, and then begin to twist all the way towards your back. And reaching it back forward. And up and back. And forward. And last one here, up and back. And forward. Great. So now we're going to go to a seated forward fold here, keeping the legs nice and wide. You're welcome to find blocks or something a little higher to bring your hands to, or you can fold all the way forward onto the floor or the mat. So just begin to let the upper body release here. Your sit bones will likely lift up off the seat, that's okay. And then soften the head and neck here. Maybe shaking the head side to side, yes and no. Good, and then we're going to keep the left hand on the floor or a block. You're going to take your right hand to your right thigh, And then gently, with a long spine, begin to simply lift and twist. And coming back down, other side, right hand stays on the floor or the blocks. Left hand to left thigh, keep the spine long, and then begin to rotate so that that left shoulder moves up towards the ceiling, heart moves up towards the ceiling. And release. And then coming all the way back up. Nice work. Okay, bringing those feet to hip width distance. We're going to take that right ankle over the left knee, circling here through your ankle, keeping the posture, the rest of the body nice and tall, softening through the shoulders. And then opposite direction with your circles. Now we're going to pause, take a big breath in, lift and lengthen through the crown of the head. Begin to bring chest forward towards your shin bone, keeping the spine nice and long. So we're going to try to avoid rounding as much as possible. Slowly lift back up. Bring that right knee in towards you. Hug it in, lift the heart, and release. Good, other side. Left ankle over the right knee. And once you've got your figure 4 here, begin to take some rolls with your ankle. And opposite direction. Pausing here, big breath in, lift and lengthen, and begin to shift forward. Nice big stretch here. You can always control the intensity by how far down you go. So it's really not about going lower, right? It's about understanding what your body needs right now. And I feel that now more than ever, we really need to be gentle with ourselves. And we have an opportunity to really get curious about our physical sensations and tune in. So I invite you to tune in instead of tune out. And then all the way back up. Nice. We're going to come to standing here. Sweeping the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. I invite you to close the eyes here for just a few moments. Once again, checking in. So allowing the mind to come back to this moment and to connect with the sensations in the physical body. And this might be a really good time now that we've sort of settled our energy a little bit to set an intention for your practice or for the day. Great. Now we're going to take the chair and we're going to set up a little bit differently. We're going to take the chair and bring it forward onto the mat. So as far forward so you have space behind you to move, and the seat of the chair is going to be near you. And we're going to start coming into a tabletop. So I want you to bend the knees, okay? So generously bend the knees here as you reach the hands down. And then you might need to walk back so that the hips are over the ankles, more or less. And then the shoulders are over the wrists, more or less. Good. And we're going to start with a few cat-cows here. So again, bending the knees will really help you with that mobility of the spine, which is what we're going for. So inhale, drop belly, look up. Little tiny lift of the chin. It's mainly just the heart forward. And then exhale, round the spine, tuck chin to chest. Really push away from the chair. Inhale, drop belly, look up. Exhale, round. One more. Inhale, drop belly, look up. Exhale, round. Coming back to center. Good. So we're going to start here, keeping the right hand down onto the chair, flat back, knees gently bent. We're going to open up with the left hand, and And then on the exhale, we're gonna thread through like we want it to touch the opposite side of the room. And then inhale, lift back up. Notice the movement's not coming primarily from the hips, so try to keep the hips steady. Knees are same, okay? We're not moving through the knees. And keep reaching through. Coming back, switching sides. The right hand reaches high. Exhale, thread through and reach. And again, lift up. And thread through. And lift up. And thread through. Good. Both hands come down to the chair. We're going to step back to a downward facing dog-ish pose, but we're going to actually widen the legs. So it's kind of like a wide-legged forward fold, but we're really going to focus on lengthening the spine. So begin to walk your feet back. And then when you can feel like you're in the right place where you can lower the ears in between the arms, start opening the legs out. And see if you can maybe keep a small bend in the knees, but not a big bend here. And then push back through the sit bones and feel for that nice big length in the spine. And you can always adjust. So if this isn't really giving you the stretch you want, you can always walk a little farther back. Good, and then slowly begin to make your way back up towards the chair. And then up to standing. Ha, okay. All right, so now I want you to face, I want the right side of your body to be facing the chair. So we're gonna twist here. Your feet are basically gonna go perpendicular. You're gonna take your right foot onto the chair. I'm no longer mirroring you, so since I'm facing you, this might, just listen to my cues more than look at my body. The right foot is on the chair, and our feet are perpendicular. So left foot pointing one direction, and then the right foot pointing towards the back of your chair. So just opening up through the hips here. And then we'll add on, if you feel balanced, we'll add on, taking the right forearm to the right thigh for extended side angle here. And lifting all the way up and over with the left hand. And notice we're not crunching down, it's more of a lift. So I'm reaching almost diagonally, not all the way to my right. And then notice that right shoulder, keeping it nice and away from the right ear. Good, and then making your way back to center. And then we're gonna take that right foot down. Now you're gonna turn around and just do this on the other side. I wanna still be able to see, well, I can't see you, but I wanna be facing your direction. So I'm just gonna take my chair and flip it to the other side. However you wanna do it is fine, but this time your left foot goes onto the, well, actually first establish the right foot, and then the left foot perpendicular to it onto the chair. And again, just take a couple seconds here to notice how that's going for you, that opening here of the hips. You want the knee about 90 degrees. Again, nothing has to be perfect, nothing has to look perfect. They're just guidelines. And when you feel steady, we'll bring that left forearm down. Again, trying not to dump down into that left shoulder. And then begin to reach the right arm up and over. And again, more of a diagonal reach so that you're feeling a lift more than just going side. Right? Good, and then making your way back to center. And then the left foot comes down. Good. I'm going to take the chair away and give you a second to get set up near a wall, if that's available to you. Just a slightly different technique to work on our warrior twos, extended side angles and triangle pose. And so bring your mat as close to a wall as you can. And the way we're going to set up, so again, I'm not mirroring you, and it doesn't really matter which side you start on. So we're going to take heel and place it up against the wall. And then we're gonna take a nice wide stance. Good. And then we're gonna start rotating that right foot. Now notice, I'm gonna pick up through the heel so that when I rotate, the right foot's not gonna be up against the wall, just the left heel. And I'm gonna scoop myself a little bit more forward, so you decide you want a pretty wide stance here. You have the support of the wall, so see and make sure you can kind of have your shoulder blades on the wall here. We're gonna bend into the right knee, doesn't have to be 90 degrees, and then keeping the shoulders on the wall. So booty's on the wall, shoulders are on the wall, belly button's hugged in. Arms are gonna come out wide, and we're gonna start rotating down. And you can either take your right hand in front of your knee, or you can support yourself here on the right thigh. The idea is that because we're keeping the shoulders on the wall, we're not leaning forward. And then lifting back up, straighten through the right leg. Same thing, this time triangle pose. So it's straight legs, sliding on the wall, tilting down, as if you were stamped onto the wall here. And again, if this is too intense, you can either have a block on the right, on the pinky toe side of your right foot, or you can hang on to your thigh. And then come back up, and we're just gonna switch directions here. So right heel to the wall, and then you're gonna lift the left heel, and then pivot your foot. Maybe walk it forward, bending into the left knee. Again, it does not have to be 90 degrees. You do want the hips nice and open. You want the booty on the wall. You want the shoulders on the wall. Opening the arms out. And then extended side angle. So keeping the bend in the left knee. Begin to tilt down. Maybe taking the left forearm down. Or maybe that's too much and you take your hand onto the thigh. But either way, keeping the spine, the shoulders glued to the wall. Lifting back up, straightening through that left leg. Triangle pose here. Same thing, so tilting down, either using a block here, or very lightly touching that shin bone, or maybe putting a little bit more weight onto that thigh. And just notice the length we're creating on the opposite side from the side that we're bending. And then lifting all the way back up. Good. Pivot your feet, so now they're both facing straight forward. And then we're gonna bring the heels in, so now your feet are about 45 degrees. And my backside is not necessarily on the wall, but it's gonna be, the wall's close enough to me so that when we start bending, if I shift forward, I'm gonna hit the wall and know that I'm really not keeping myself aligned, okay? So you wanna, as we bend the knees, we wanna make sure we're going straight down and not leaning forward and not leaning back. Hugging the belly button in. We're gonna inhale, reach the arms up, and just like we did at the beginning of practice, on the exhale, bend the knees and bend the elbows, goddess pose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. Good, 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift. And exhale, bend. Good, stay here. You got this. Stay here, stay here, stay here. And then taking that right forearm down and reaching over. And lifting back up to center, opposite direction, so it doesn't really matter if you started with your right or your left. And coming back to center and zipping up through the inner thighs. Ha. And then toe heel your feet back together. All right, we're ready to take it down to the floor. So I'm just gonna pull my mat out a little to make sure you guys can see me. Bella has definitely deserted us, but she's here in the room and she's telling me that you guys are doing a great job. Okay, so we're gonna start in a seated pose. I chose not to use any props today in case you don't have any available. But if you do, a blanket might feel really nice underneath the sit bones here. And we're going to start by stretching out the legs out long in front of us. And this pose is called staff pose. You're kind of creating a letter L with your body, and already might feel like a challenge. So not a bad idea to kind of sit here for a bit and just notice if you can lengthen the spine. If you feel like your knees are lifting like mine are a little bit, rolling up a towel underneath the knees might also be a really good way to access length in the spine. But this is actually not where we're going. So you're going to take the right foot, cross it completely over, and press it down over the left leg. Make sure that the big toe mound of your right foot and the little toe mound and your heel are all pressing down. And you're going to take the right hand behind you, sweep up through the left, and then a couple of options. You can take your elbow to the outside of that right knee, and I like to take my left hand and just kind of bring it across my heart. That doesn't feel good for your body. You can also grab onto the knee and use that as leverage to twist. Or maybe the left hand goes down, to the mat or your leg, or anywhere that helps you just take that twist towards the bent knee. Good. And now we're going to twist. And to keep things a little bit more interesting, we're not going to do the other side right away. We're actually going to bend the left knee underneath the right. So now the legs are fully crossed. And we're going to roll back onto our backs with the crossed knees. From here, you're going to lift those knees in towards you. And you're going to either interlace hands around the knees, pull them in towards you, and notice if that gives you a big, intense stretch here through the right sit bone, or the leg that's on top. If not, you can intensify this by taking either the shins or whatever you can reach. I can't quite reach my feet, but your ankles, your shins, or your feet, and we're spreading them out in opposite directions. And you'll see that this starts really intensifying the stretch in that right sit bone. Good. From here, release the hands if you have the bind, and then uncross the legs. Good. Bring your feet about hip width distance here. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Flip the palms to face the ceiling. And then take 3 bridge poses here. So as you inhale, lifting up through the hips. Exhale, rolling back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Good. Hold here. Widen your feet. So keep the knees bent, but widen the feet out. And then drop both knees towards your right. So you'll notice they'll kind of scissor open. Right knee will point towards the right. Left knee will point a little more forward. And just feel for that stretch through the left side of the upper thigh. Begin to bring the legs back to their starting position. So the feet are still nice and wide. And then take it the opposite direction. So left knee out to the left, right knee a little bit more forward, creating that deep stretch in the upper right thigh here. Coming back to center, this time bringing the feet closer together. Hug knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Nice time to do some circles here with your low back. Maybe the opposite direction. Good. And then we'll roll completely over to the right side. And then use our hands to lift back up to a seat. So you might have to get readjusted on your mat here. We're gonna come back to our staff pose. So legs out long. Nice lift up through the crown of the head. This time the left foot is gonna cross completely over the right. So again, make sure you're rooting down through the big toe mound, little toe mound, and heel with the left foot. Left hand behind you. Inhale through the right. And then exhale, either elbow to the outer side of the left knee, or you could hug the knee, or you could take a different variation. Really focusing on twisting from the upper and middle back. Untwist. Keep this left leg crossed over. Begin to bend the right knee beneath it. Scoot forward and then roll onto your back with the knees one over the other. And again, here your choice. Maybe you interlace your hands and bring the knees in. Maybe you can reach for the ankles or the shin bones or the feet and bring the feet out in opposite directions, and just notice how this intensifies the stretch on the left hip slash sit bone slash glute, or whichever the leg is on top, that's where you'll be feeling it. Breathe with it. Stay present. We're going to start releasing this down, uncrossing the legs, and then yogi's choice. We can either do 5 bridge poses, or if you have a block near you and you'd like to do a restorative bridge, this might be a really nice time to take that block underneath the sit bones, the sacrum, the bony triangle at the base of your spine, and then rest there for a few breaths. So if you want to take restorative bridge, go there. If not, we'll start lifting, this time adding the arms. So inhale, lift as you reach the arms up and over. And exhale, come down. And inhale, lift. And exhale, down. 3 more. Keep the face relaxed, keep the breath fluid. And when you completed your 5th one, once again, inviting the knees in towards your chest for a hug. Maybe rocking side to side or back and forth. And we'll finish with our spinal twists before Shavasana. So, arms out, cactus arms. Allow both knees to drop over towards your right. However they land is fine. So if the knees sort of spread out, that's fine. If the knees are lower, that's fine. If they're higher, that's fine. And maybe it would serve you to have something underneath the bottom right knee. So feel free to grab a blanket or a block or a pillow or a beach towel or your puppy. Slowly, making your way to center. Take a breath here, allow the spine to go back to neutral. And when you're ready, allow the knees to fall to the opposite side. Again, feel free to adjust however you'd like to make this pose nourishing and restorative for your body. And slowly coming back to center, and then yogi's choice. You can take Shavasana right from here, stretching the legs out long, reaching the arms out nice and long, keeping the palms open up towards the ceiling, and finding a sense of calm and peace and quiet. Alternatively, you can flip so that your legs come to rest on the wall. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, but you can stay in this traditional Shavasana if you prefer. And once you've settled, begin to bring all of your awareness to the breath, allowing the focus to stay within instead of engaging any of your senses with the external environment. Feel free to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you can, or feel that your body is asking for today. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 10 or even 15. So feel free to pause the video here if you want to remain in this pose longer. If not, we'll start bringing the knees in towards the chest, rolling onto the right or left side, lifting back up to a comfortable seat, and that might even be back on the chair if you'd like, or maybe leaning up against the wall. Rooting down through the sit bones, finding the lift through the crown of the head and softening everything in between. Bringing hands to heart center, or maybe palms over the heart. And in gratitude for this practice that brings us together, and for the technology that allows us to stay connected even through these difficult times. Namaste. Hope you enjoyed